Like, I think that statement, and can we get honest, the stupidity behind that statement.
Okay, here we go.
Is really, like, I don't even know if I have to defend my
Okay, well, please.
You just ended it.
You can throw insults, but...
This is the Crush It Podcast with Matt and Mason.
It has been a hot minute since we've done a podcast episode.
Yeah, great idea to start a podcast right before huge life events.
Yeah, well, okay, so, funny story. I didn't even know I was going to be moving when we recorded the last podcast episode.
Life changes.
You did know, however, that you were going to have a baby.
Right. But
So that's not my fault.
my baby has been a lot less of a hindrance than you moving has been. Right.
So backstory for all of you listeners, it's been like a while since we released the first podcast episode.
Which, thank you to everyone.
Yeah,
who,
we had great
downloaded
listenership.
and listened. It was fantastic.
It was awesome.
Blown away. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so right after that, I got the news that I was being transferred, got a promotion within my company, and moved to the bustling city of Cleveland, Tennessee. So I started the moving process, and meanwhile, Matt was doing dad things and replenishing the earth.
Baby number 3.
Baby number 3.
Beautiful little girl, Oakland Annalise Davis, 7 pounds.
I thought you were going to say Oakland Athletics.
7 pounds, 11 ounces, 20 and a half inches long. Absolutely gorgeous little girl, so we're very excited. But those are our excuses, because we know that after hearing that first podcast, you've been checking your phone every
incessantly
single day. Don't know what that word means, but you've been checking it every
It means checking every single day.
Okay, sounds good. To see when we were going to release another podcast, and here it is. So thanks for...
So we have a doozy for you today.
We do. This one's been cooking up for a little while, and we're not sure exactly how it's going to go, but I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So, the first episode, we were talking about things that me and you are both in agreement with.
Right.
Today
Mindset
is going to be a little bit different. We're coming to you with the hot topic, MultiLevel Marketing.
Yes. Thanks for clapping and right into my headset.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. But yeah, so myself and Mason, this is an argument that we've had multiple times as far as network marketing.
It's a multi-level argument.
Multi-level argument. And it's quite the pyramid of an argument here. And so what we're going to be talking about today is a little bit of two total different views as to multi-level marketing, the pros, the cons, and whether or not it is a good business model to be a part of. So obviously, anybody who knows me, I mean, not that I've ever done much in multi-level marketing, but been around it a good bit, not by any means an expert in it, but I will be coming from the side of, I'll be in favor of it. And then Mason is going to manage over the next few minutes to sound like a complete jerk and show why he thinks that multi-level marketing is not a good business model to be a part of.
That is correct. And for clarification, these are arguments that me and you both believe. So it's not like we just picked something to represent.
As a matter of fact, we were halfway through an argument about this.
Exactly.
On the streets of Greenville after having lunch one day, and the idea said, hey,
this should be a podcast
This should
episode.
be a podcast. So that, and I gladly jumped at that idea.
Yeah, Matt's always looking for ways to make a fool out of himself. So this should be fun.
We'll see. So, I know what we would like to do is, as this kind of gets out and people start listening to us, we'd like to hear your view on this, who you agree with, why, and may even be something we revisit a again down the road, depending on what kind of ideas we get from other people. So
Yeah, so, I'm young. I have a lot of young friends, which naturally means I know a lot of network marketers because my Facebook inbox is full of them. Everybody's got a nutrition thing they're selling. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against selling products. Products make the world go around because they make money. Not against it at all.
he's trying to get you on his side before he makes everybody mad.
I am. And I'm not saying that MLM is a scam either. I'm saying it's a poor business model that sets people up for failure. And that's the position that I'll be bringing in this debate. Thank you for your vote.
So I think I just won right there. Like, I think that statement, and can we get honest, the stupidity behind that statement.
Here we go.
Is really, I don't even know if I have to defend my view.
Well,
because
please.
You just ended it.
You can throw insults, but are you going to tell me why?
Like, I think that statement, and can we get honest, the stupidity behind that statement.
Here we go.
Is really, I don't even know if I have to defend my view.
Well,
because
please.
You just ended it.
You can throw insults, but are you going to tell me why?
Well, of course.
Okay, continue.
Well, no, we talked about this. You are going to start off explaining that view, why you feel like it's a poor business model.
I would rather you explain why it's a good one.
I am going to sit here and try to hold my tongue till you're done. No guarantees about that.
Hard for you to do.
Hard for me to do. Anybody who's known me more than 5 minutes knows that. But I'm going to sit here, try, and then we will politely and compassionately discuss the different views on that.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Here I go.
What's your views?
So, one common question that people ask a lot is, are MLMs pyramid schemes? And so I'm not coming at you saying that MLMs are pyramid schemes, because they're not. They're not pyramid schemes. They're pyramids, but they're not pyramid schemes.
Right. Which every corporation is a pyramid as well.
Right. So just to clear that up real quick, a pyramid scheme is a multi-level business plan where the primary stream of income comes from recruiting other people, not from actually selling a product. That's illegal in the United States.
Correct.
MLMs did not claim to do that, such a thing. So my position on this is going to be really generic. I mean, because there's a lot of this is the multifaceted, thought.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot that goes into this, but just as general overview, from my understanding of multi-level marketing,
if we need to, we can use the example of health and nutrition, because that seems to be
dominates the field.
That's the dominating.
It dominates the field, and you could substitute health and nutrition with whatever product you want.
Correct.
But from my viewpoint, there's undoubtedly people that have succeeded in the MLM business model.
Right.
I think the vast majority have not. I also think that the majority of MLM businesses are not sustainable in that business model.
Okay.
I concede.
Okay. So first off, let's talk about the people who don't succeed. You are not looking at, your argument is that many succeed, many don't. The ones who don't.
My argument was that very few succeed and many don't.
Okay, I would disagree with that because there are those who reach their high levels that are bringing in 6 and sometimes even 7 figures with multi-level marketing, those who work their way to the very top. But one of the greatest things about multi-level marketing is that it allows someone to fairly easily bring in an extra $300, $500, $800, $1,000 a month.
I disagree.
Which can completely change somebody's day-to-day life as far as a family goes.
If that were true.
That they can do that?
Yeah, I don't think that that's a common thing.
It's extremely common.
Okay,
but here's the thing. I mean, if you are blindly scrolling through Facebook, then I can see your point. But if you are actually looking at what's going on, and here's the point I was trying to make a second ago. There's also a majority of people, the great majority of folks, who never make it to any type corporate level in corporate America.
Of course.
They don't get to C-level.
Of course.
Okay? So the point is, the difference in the ones who don't make it to C-level and the ones who do, what's the difference?
One of them has a steady paycheck.
Work? What does that have to do with it?
Okay, you're trying to compare entry-level, regular working-class American jobs in traditional business structures to somebody that's working at a lower level of an MLM structure, correct?
Okay, but what I'm saying is, the comparison I'm making is that the people who rise in the company are the ones who put the work in, the ones who dedicate and work.
Yeah, that's
and
true
the
anywhere.
same. Exactly. That's my point. So that is not a difference in multi-level marketing or any other week-to-week structure.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Because the reason that people fail is because they don't do the work.
That's true.
The reason people don't survive at your company is because they don't work. They don't show up. They don't get up and do it.
That's true.
But the point is, multi-level marketing has allowed people who have that drive, who do want to get something done, but maybe they can't go work 40 hours a week. They've got a family. They've got other things going on. They've got sick
I would say that
parents.
having a family is good motivation to go work 40 hours a week.
But I'm saying not everybody, as far as both parents, can do that. Okay, because you and I both know that society is set up for every home to have two incomes. Well, by the time, as far as the economy goes, like if you are going to have a successful life, if you are going to have a successful life, you really need two incomes.
I
mean, that's
wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Okay, well, of course not, Mr. C-Level. And so it's easy for you. But when a man's out busting his hind end, or a woman is out busting her hind end trying to barely make enough money to survive, and then the spouse decides, I'm going to go get a job. Okay, I'm going to go help. I'm going to bring in more money. And then they pay for childcare. Oh, look, I'm profiting $20 a week and I'm spending 40 hours away from my kids.
Sure.
It don't make sense. So that person with that same drive can get involved in a multi-level marketing that they're passionate about and can make that money from home. Multi-level marketing has allowed people to make extra money or even a living from home or wherever they're at whenever they need to. Lazy people aren't going to be successful in any market.
All right, here's what I'm going to break down what you just talked about. So, like, I'm not discrediting the fact that it is possible to be successful. It is possible.
It is not possible.
It is possible to be successful in MLM. It's absolutely possible. I know successful people in MLM. Good for them.
Right.
They've worked really hard to get there. That's awesome. You've got to work really hard to get anywhere in any company. Right? MLM I have a problem with because I think that most MLM structures are based on deception. One of the number one pitches I see from MLMs is you can be your own boss.
Okay.
You can work your own hours.
Okay.
That's bullcrap. It's not true.
How?
You're not your own boss and you're not making your own hours. You can
Absolutely you are.
Okay, if you don't ever want to go anywhere with it.
Absolutely.
Okay, MLM is one of the most entrepreneurial startups that you could have.
Absolutely.
Entrepreneurs do not set their own hours. That means if somebody, you got to nurture that thing. If somebody needs something if you get a message at 12 o'clock at midnight, you got to be able to respond to that. You can't be slow to respond. You can't be slow on your feet or you're going to lose opportunities and you're not going to be successful. You're not making your own hours. So to present it as on day one, boom, you automatically own your own business, you can set your own hours, you can work when you want to. That's just not true if you want to make any money.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Secondly, they present this as if there is no overhead. Join our team and be your own boss and make your own hours and you're going to be set up for success. Also not true. With almost every MLM has overhead. You have to.
You're going to buy in. Who claims there's no overhead? Because
I'm not saying they don't claim there isn't. I'm just saying that they're not
that's
open
something
about
you made
that.
up to help this argument.
I didn't say that they said that.
You said they claim no overhead.
I didn't say they claim no overhead. If I did, I didn't mean to say they claim no overhead.
I'll
They do claim
you.
ownership. They don't advertise overhead. Like they're not transparent about the overhead. That there always is.
Okay, in all honesty, how are they not transparent about it when you can't even join until you pay that fee? Because that fee is that's your overhead.
Right. I mean, that's the hook. It's the sales pitch. See, MLM. This is
So
what
are they saying there's overhead or there's not overhead?
There absolutely is overhead. You can't get started unless you buy the startup kit.
But you're saying they're lying about it.
I didn't say they're lying. I said they're not being transparent about it.
I just can't see that because every MLM, it says get started for this amount of money. What's not
That's not true.
transparent about
Okay, that's not true at all. Nobody says get started for this amount of money.
One of the first pitches you hear on an MLM, whether somebody gets you on a call or you're reading something online.
Exactly. You've already got on the call at that point. And you can't find out any information from MLMs online. That's why they always have to have a network marketer reach out to you.
How many job offers are you going to accept without going through a couple steps to find out how much money you're going to make and what
I'll
is
absolutely go
required
through
of
those
you?
steps, but I'm not going to have to pay $4.95 to start the job.
Right.
Right.
So that is different,
Exactly. It's different.
but they're not lying. That is
I didn't say they're
everything's
lying.
upfront.
You're telling me, you're making it sound like I'm lying.
At the
Thank
beginning,
you.
At the beginning
Jimmy
of
Carter.
this, you claimed that they weren't transparent.
That is not
about
the same as
overhead.
lying. I said it's not transparent. I feel like that the whole initial process with this is slightly deceptive. I think people go into it not realizing there's overhead. I think they think they're going to be their own boss and set their own hours and still make a consistent living, and that's not true.
Okay, maybe we can clear some stuff out here. Here's my question. What's the one MLM that you looked into that hurt you so bad?
I looked into multiple MLMs. Multiple MLMs.
Okay.
I've never been involved with one. I've never worked in one.
Because I have signed up with a few.
Sure. I'm aware.
And do what?
I'm aware.
I know. Honestly, have not really done anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100% on me. Like I know that. I'm fully aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at no point have I've heard a ton of pitches.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made was before anybody heard of AdvoCare, I sat down in an AdvoCare in the living room with one of the first guys. This was, right after me and Grace got married. This has been 19 years ago, before AdvoCare blew up. And I sit there and laughed at the guy.
Right.
Made fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then missed a huge opportunity, which would now be gone.
Sure.
Obviously, we
Right.
all know that.
Yep.
But could have had a lot of success for that at that point.
Sure.
But I've been here, I've heard these, and I have never felt like that it was not transparent. Anybody makes a job sound better than it is. And MLMs are guilty of that. I'll give you that. But so is every manager that's ever interviewed a potential.
Must be interviewing at the wrong places. Okay, look, I'm not saying that these discredit the foundation of MLMs. You're asking the problem I have with them. I'm telling you what I think.
But you have a lot of wrong ideas.
I don't think that I do.
Of course you don't.
That would be odd if I did.
That would be odd if you did.
Okay,
So,
and so continuing that conversation.
okay.
Those are just a few things on the front side, from the outside looking in, that as somebody that is in business, I have picked up on.
Okay.
Those are things, looking through the eyes of a business person, those are things I've noticed.
Right.
Whether you perceive them the same way or not, I've perceived them that way.
Okay.
So they're true to me.
Okay.
I don't have a problem
That's
against...
a very liberal statement.
That was. I
This
felt-
is true to me. So this is the way it is.
These are facts to me.
We don't care about the facts. We care about the truth. Wasn't that a recent
Yeah,
statement?
well,
made?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was the other way around.
Yeah, whatever.
Or so-
All right,
I don't
sorry.
know.
Go ahead.
Anyways, the next thing is what people actually do in the MLM.
Okay.
So MLMs are not salespeople; they're recruiters.
Okay.
They make them sound like salespeople, and there's an element of sales to it,
Right.
but it's largely recruiting.
Right.
If you don't, there's high turnover. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
absolutely.
I would say it's probably one of the highest turnovers
Would not
of
disagree
any
with
other
that.
business model.
Right.
So unless you are consistently recruiting, you're turning over people, you're recruiting, you're turning over people, you're recruiting, and you agree there's a lot of turnover, that's because the vast majority of people bail out on this. It's not successful for them.
They bail out before they see the success because it is work. It is not just because people who join these with the idea that, hey, I'm just going to sign up and money's going to start rolling in, then they get that idea, they have that idea, and a lot of
Okay,
that is
so-
a preconceived idea, and then they get in and they're like, wait a second, I have to do something?
No. That's
And
not
then
true.
they're gone.
People aren't afraid of. Not everybody's afraid of work. It's a misinterpretation of what they're going to be doing. So you tell me. You said they're not going to be successful unless they put in the work. What's the work they're going to be putting in? Break down for me the work that you see makes somebody successful in MLM.
Okay, so they're all different, but you're looking at selling product, signing up customers who are going to buy the product consistently, and then you recruit other people. It is recruitment to go do the same thing, to find other customers, to find other recruits, and that's where your multi-level marketing.
What do
comes in.
What do you think that these people that are in, what do they call them, the network marketers? What do you think network marketers spend the majority of their time doing, selling product or recruiting?
The majority would be recruiting.
Okay. That's a fundamental flaw with the business model to me.
Okay, how though, when what you are doing, and I have seen this firsthand with people who are close to me, don't make fun of the way I use my hands. It's a good thing we're not videoing
No
this.
doubt.
I've got fingers flying everywhere. But I have seen this. What you are able to do with multi-level marketing is, obviously, we've seen recently, products can come and go, but you're building a team. You have people. And multi-level marketing is based off of me helping people to help people to help people. And what we have seen firsthand is that when somebody has built a team and they have that team under them, and it becomes, honestly, and I know this term is used a lot, and you can make fun of it, but somewhat of a family for those who have built in and invested in this, that team doesn't go anywhere. The products can go.
Okay, well, you just told me that it has an enormous amount of turnover, so either they don't go anywhere or they do.
There is an enormous amount of turnover, but that's why you keep recruiting, because you're going to get those that stick. It's
okay,
like
that's like saying,
like
okay, if it's a
anything.
family and we have constant turnover, that's like my kids and wife constantly getting rotated out for new people. Like, which one is it? Is it a family that never splits up, or is it a constant rotation?
It's like a church family.
Yeah, well, I don't want to work for a church family.
You've got your core that you continue to build, and there's always going to be people that come and go. But there is that core, and when you've got your team and you're investing in people, the product, really, as long as you've got a product that you can believe in, whether it's the best product on the market or not, if you've got something that you can believe in and is genuinely helping people, then you can promote that product. But in all honesty, the number one goal is investing in people and helping people to reach the goals that they want to reach. And multi-level marketing allows people to reach goals that they otherwise would not be able to reach, whether it's health goals, financial goals, freedom goals. Because in all reality, it's not about the money, it's about the freedom. And the freedom that money brings. That's why we work to do what we do, because we want to have the money to have the freedom to do what we want to do. Well, multi-level marketing has allowed so many men and women to have the freedom that I know people who have put their kids through Christian school because that's what they wanted because of multi-level marketing. I know people who have been able to afford a second car because of multi-level marketing. They've been able to provide something for a family member that needed it. They've been able to move into a new house because of multi-level marketing. They've been able to go on vacations. That's a huge one. Families that didn't get to go on vacation for 8 to 10 years, but because somebody took advantage of the opportunity to become a part of a team and help to grow that team, they're now able to go on vacation and enjoy themselves.
Now, we'll take a step back here and evaluate what you just said, because the way you phrase that almost gives the impression, I know you weren't saying this, I'm just saying as a listener, it gave the impression that like all of that was coming from one team, and that's not true. So like the success,
all of what is coming from
all of the success you just talked about. Like I said, there are successful people in MLM. It's spread across several different companies. People that I know that have been successful, it's spread across several different companies, and they're all obviously higher up in the MLM structure and have many, many recruits below them. It's few and far between the success stories that I've seen. For every success story you have, I could probably show you 20 people that have ruined their social media reputation because they're blowing up everybody's inbox for products that you could probably buy at GNC or Walmart.
So you are majorly going to have to eat a lot of this.
Okay.
In 15 to 20 years, when 90% of your businesses are using a multi-level marketing structure.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
I know you do.
Okay, well, look, let's talk about the elephant in the room, man.
A man in corporate America don't want to admit that that's going to end up going away.
No, it's absolutely not. Let's look at one of the elephant in the room, one of the most popular MLMs in recent time, AdvoCare. Mm-hmm. What did they just recently do? A lot of people were very successful on AdvoCare. Worked great for a lot of people, not downing their success. It was legitimate success.
Right.
But what did AdvoCare as a company just do?
I'm so glad you brought this
They
up.
just went consumer direct, Matt.
Yes, they did. And in 5 years, we'll come back on this podcast and see where AdvoCare is. Because I will put $100 right now. I probably shouldn't do that.
Probably shouldn't.
But I would put $100 on it right now that in 5 years, AdvoCare will either be gone or they will have their profits will have dropped. So we can look at the numbers. That's something we can look at. Mm-hmm. We can look at their numbers because they got rid of the people that built them. They took those people, they used them to build, because it's such a beautiful business model.
Right.
They used people to work their hind ends off, build their company. They became a worldwide known brand. They tore up the United States. People worked themselves to death building this team. And then AdvoCare got to the point where they said, hey, this is a lot of money. We don't need y'all anymore. Bye. Okay? They stabbed them all in the back. So that's what AdvoCare did. AdvoCare is going to bite the dust because of it. I'm 100%
They very well may. Businesses rise and fall throughout corporate America every day.
You needed to say that to protect yourself.
I can't speak
in 5
for the,
years.
No, listen.
But your point
I
is,
can't speak for the leadership of AdvoCare because I don't know them. If they run their business poorly, I can't tell.
Okay.
What I am saying, we can have that discussion in 5 years when the business falls. If it falls, it falls. What I'm saying is that the MLM structure they were currently operating on was not sustainable.
Absolutely, it was.
No, it wasn't. That's why they went direct to consumer.
No, they went direct to consumer because they saw that for the short term, like, look, everybody's already buying these products.
Okay, it was sustainable.
We'll just stop paying the people that got us here.
Okay, yeah, it's sustainable if their whole business model is recruiting other people. But if they want to actually sell AdvoCare, is it about recruitment or is it about selling products?
We've already established that the majority of it is about recruitment.
Okay, that's very close to a pyramid scheme.
Okay, but it's not.
It's not, but it's dangerously close. It's not. If it's not about selling products, what is the business model?
The product is getting these customers that do help. AdvoCare's products legitimately do help.
I'm not doubting that.
Okay.
They help so much that they saw the value in going direct to consumer sales.
Right. But what AdvoCare don't realize is how many of because people, we're humans.
Right.
We are humans. Sorry, there's a ticking in our headphones, and we had to pause for a second to figure out what that was. But as humans, we are not going to, in most cases, we as humans are not going to keep up with these supplements we want to take. Because, that's just, we die off. But a lot of literally. But a lot of what these AdvoCare distributors were doing is they were reminding people, hey, it was an accountability thing too. It was holding people accountable to ordering those products and staying healthy, okay? That's gone now. You're going to have a little bit of a hardcore, and I know a couple of those people who are going to keep ordering their Spark. They're going to keep ordering different things. But people enjoyed taking Spark because a lot of it was an accountability structure. And we cannot deny, we've talked a lot about accountability and the importance of having that. But I'm glad you brought that up because that helps me to lead into this, which is there were a lot of people who built really big and really strong teams.
Really big, really strong teams.
They were huge.
They were huge.
Huge teams. And what they did is when AdvoCare decided to stab them all in the back, and it's not like Johnson's going to listen to this podcast anyway, so I'm going to say it because I wouldn't want him to know I was bragging on him like this. But you know what he did that was smart? Because Jonathan and Kelsey had built a very strong team. AdvoCare stabbed them all in the back.
I'm aware. Team, I'm aware of that.
So you know what they did? They went to their team and they said, we're sorry. We don't know what's going on either. But we're bigger than AdvoCare. We have a team. We're going to step back. We're going to figure out what we're going to do. And then for anybody who wants to stay on this journey with us, we're going to keep going.
And good for them.
So what they were able to do is through AdvoCare, they built a team. They invested in people. And they're not the only ones. Nationwide, huge teams by great people who built big teams who now, they lost a lot. It hurt. They got knocked down. But as a team who's accountable to each other and who cares for each other, wipe the dust off, wipe the tears out of their eyes, because a lot of people were banking on literally banking on a lot of different things because of AdvoCare's empty promises. And now they get to go into something else, and many of them have, most of them have, and they're like, you know what? We're not going to bank 100% on this because, hey, now we see that it can go anytime we want to. But you know what they've still got today? They've got a strong team.
Okay, but
they have people. Products are going to come and go. But when you invest in people, they're not going anywhere.
I totally agree. But see, what you're saying, what you're trying to argue is that the team element that you're speaking about is not present in more traditional business models like the one I'm from, which is not true. The truth is that team business model is just as present, if not more so, in the business that I work for, with tenures that are averaging between 5 to 8 years instead of turnover every several months.
I wouldn't argue with that.
Right. So I can have everything you just talked about in a traditional business structure like that I'm in without with the sustainable business model, which I don't think MLMs obviously don't give.
Okay. One big one bites the dust, and now your category.
One of the biggest ones bit the dust, and I think set a precedent for other growing MLMs.
Let me take that back, because they didn't bite the dust. They made a stupid decision. But it as far as everybody that was
they
involved,
made it. Look, what they did was not fair to the people that distributed for AdvoCare. 100% agree.
Right.
It was messed up. It was dirty.
But it's not because.
But they did the right thing to sell more product. Was it moral? No. Was it ethical? No. But do they want to? If they want to sell more AdvoCare product, they did the right thing by going direct to consumer.
Could not possibly disagree more, because those products they're going to go away. They're not going to continue.
Well, we can talk about what may or may not happen all we want to, but what I'm saying is that the people.
Are we or not? Because don't talk about what may happen. And then when I come back at you,
there's a reason that they did what they did.
Yeah,
because they can sell
they're greedy.
No, because they can sell more product going direct to consumer.
For a short period of time.
That's not true.
But there's nobody out there pushing these products, so their sales are going to go down.
You don't know.
Hang on.
No. You are the one that said that distributors were more focused on recruiting more people than they were selling product. AdvoCare probably realizes that and wants to sell more AdvoCare product. The distributors did a great job of marketing the product to where people actually want to buy AdvoCare, and so they're selling it direct to consumer so they can sell more product.
Okay, I didn't say they were more focused on recruiting.
That's literally what we talked about.
Not focused on recruiting more. I said that's one of the bigger parts of the model.
No. I said, what do they focus on more, selling or recruiting? Go, oh, yeah, definitely recruiting. Yeah, recruiting.
Okay. You got such a punchable face. So right now, though, what I'm saying is that's where the most of your money comes from.
Recruiting.
Okay, was recruiting.
Which is not a sustainable business model. It doesn't do anything to contribute to the economy. All you're doing is taking money out of the economy. You're not putting any back in if you're focused on recruiting and not selling product.
Absolutely no way
that is absolutely true.
No, okay.
The people are using, if it's recruiting efforts, then you're making the bulk of your money from people that are signing up with the company. They're signing up with the company with money that they've made somewhere else, not inside of the MLM. That means you're draining more money out of the economy than you're putting into it. That's a failing business model. It's exactly what happened to AdvoCare. It's why they went direct to consumer. Case closed.
So does that mean the podcast is over? Did you just
no, it doesn't. Okay, it was getting into the argument.
Because let me throw a couple things. There's one thing that you mentioned that we got to go back to, but before we do, you're saying, you made me lose my train of thought. Okay, but you're saying they went direct to consumer to sell more product. That is absolutely true. But what they don't realize is that without these people out there pushing that product, they're not going
If only
to sell
they
it.
had you to counsel them on their business.
Would have loved a phone call.
I'm sure
have loved
that you would have.
A phone call. Okay.
You don't
but
think
let's go
that
back.
crossed their mind?
Do what?
You don't think they considered that? Obviously they knew how much fallout would come from that decision. It's not like it hit them in the back of the head. They knew it was going to happen that way.
Right. But they made a decision that's going to end up biting them in the hind end.
Maybe.
But
don't
it's
know.
not because okay, we don't know that yet. But where we disagree is that they made the decision because it wasn't sustainable, or they made the decision because they decided to be greedy. I'm saying it's because they just wanted to be greedy. You're saying it wasn't sustainable. It is sustainable had they chose to keep going that route. But anyway, we've got to go back to this other part.
I disagree. I think
Okay.
you're wrong, so
I know,
we'll disagree on that.
That's the whole point of the podcast. But anyway, you made the statement that investing in the people and having that team is something that you experience in the corporate world as well, that can be experienced there.
Not just in the corporate world. I mean, it goes all the way down to our entry-level employees.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm just saying in corporate America, talking about...
In more traditional business models.
In traditional
Sure.
business models. So that is true. And I would never argue that point. But you can't do that in the traditional business model and control when and where. You can't do it without clocking in every morning, clocking out every night. You can't do it without having certain things that you have to accomplish.
True.
And then at the same time, there is a limit to how many people
True.
can get involved in
Exactly.
that.
Keep talking.
And there's a limit
Yes.
to what they're able to contribute to that.
That's true. And do you know why?
Go ahead.
Because it's a company that's focused on selling products and not recruiting people, because it's a sustainable business model.
Okay, that's fine. But you cannot say the focusing on products, it works. Okay? That's why we're where we're at in America.
For sure.
Okay, I'm never going to argue that. But where my disagreement with you is that it's not the same with building a team. Because here's the fact. I don't care who you are, where you come from. If you can talk to people and you can sell, you can make money in a multi-level marketing system with no caps, nobody with their thumb on you.
So let me make sure that I understand you. You're saying that MLMs are only as good as their team is, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's true in business.
Absolutely.
So I can add more people to my team in Best Buy Metals if my team is...
But when you add your team, you add overhead. So that is a problem for businesses because they have to make sure they can cover the overhead to cover
Why?
more.
Okay, listen. Why would I be expanding my team? There's only one reason I'm going to expand my team in Best Buy Metals, and it's because our revenue went up. It's because we're selling more product.
Okay.
So the more product we sell, the more I can expand my team. The better that my team does their job, the more product we sell, the more that I can expand my team, the larger the business grows.
Yeah, and that
In
works
an MLM
great.
structure, it doesn't matter if you're selling product or not. Get more people on the team. That's
Right.
not sustainable.
I disagree.
No product's being sold. Product's not being sold. The only way the product's being moved is through the people that are joining the team.
There are products being moved because you cannot, in these multi-level marketing systems, you cannot continue to make money off of the people unless you're hitting certain sales goals on the product too.
Right.
Product is being sold.
And the easiest way to sell product is by getting more people on the team because they have to buy product to get on the team.
Right. But let's say you're right. Let's pretend we're living in a fantasy world.
You can't say that.
Hang on.
Whoa. Okay, continue.
Gotta finish a sentence, man. So, let's say you're right. The business model is not sustainable.
Okay.
I build a team.
Mm-hmm.
I build a strong team.
Are you talking about in an MLM?
Yes.
Okay.
I build it in an MLM.
Mm-hmm.
The company, the product that we are promoting goes away.
Okay.
Like AdvoCare did.
Yep.
I take that team.
Okay.
I move on to the next thing.
How long did it take to move on to the next thing? What were those people doing for money in between that?
Well, here's the beautiful thing about multi-level marketing.
I mean, the guy that's higher up in the MLM is going to make money because automatically everybody on his team has to buy a product as soon as they jump to the next thing.
Right.
What about the guys on the bottom of it?
Okay.
They got to make money.
Would you like an answer? Or do you want to keep
Yeah,
talking?
I'd like an answer.
Okay. So the guy on the bottom who's making $1,000 a month, if he quit his job because he was making $1,000 a month, the guy's an idiot anyway. So you've got your people on the top who are making so much money that they could quit their job if they chose to do so, which very few do. Even the guys making six figures, like mid six figures, a lot of those are still carrying on a decent job. They're doing a 9-to-5 traditional business job. So
earlier we were talking about people that like wives and people that are staying at home and
exactly
as secondary income.
Okay, yeah. So let's get to that. So those people, that's not their main income. Did it put them in a bind for a couple months? Probably so. But you have to plan. I mean, that's the same way you could literally, you are very successful in your business, but it is possible. I mean, you just moved to a new town for your job.
Correct.
But it's possible for you to walk in tomorrow.
Yeah, and the whole place
say,
shut down.
Hey, we're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
The good thing is I have several hundred years of track record of business models like mine working. MLMs don't have that. What they do have is a track record of failure.
You're scared of something new. That's what it is.
They have a track.
where we're
Is this thing working? MLMs have a track record of failure. Okay, how many?
But the teams are there.
Yeah, the teams are all working for
My
UPS and
argument-
FedEx now.
No, they're not. Some of them may be because they quit or and
Yeah,
there's-
because they wanted to eat that month.
Okay, all right. But the fact to say that an MLM where you're building and investing in people, yeah, it's about products. Traditional business is about selling the products. But
Right.
there are
It's
businesses.
like the definition of business.
Right. There are businesses all over the nation that would give anything to have a team as strong as some of these multi-level marketing teams are.
Probably.
You will never, ever go wrong investing in people and building a team.
Right.
Products
and
may
probably
come and go.
most of those teams would get
Products may
anything
come and
to
go.
have the bank account that those businesses have.
No, because we know that with the exception of a small percentage, most of those people in traditional business America are going to work their 9-to-5. They're going to barely get enough in their
America is by far the wealthiest country in the world. I mean, our poorest people are in the top 30% of income earners.
How did this turn into an argument about the rest of the world?
I mean,
But my point is,
so you're
people,
telling me that
they
if you
work-
join an MLM, everybody has a chance to make it to the top?
if they work hard enough, absolutely.
No.
Not the top, but
The whole thing
high
falls
earnings.
apart if there's not people at the
Well, of
bottom
course
that
you
are
don't
trickling.
know what I'm saying because you won't let me finish the sentence.
Okay, continue.
So here's my point. People work, they clock in, they clock out 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. They put into their 401k. They have this little retirement that they barely get by on.
Well, that's completely
They
false.
work- okay.
Most of America's millionaires are millionaires because of their retirement funds.
Yes, but what percentage of your everyday man going to work, everyday woman going to work, what percentage of those are millionaires when they retire?
I don't know that number, but I know that
Exactly,
most
'cause
of
it's
America's
very small.
millionaires have a net worth of just over $1 million, and it's because of their home and their retirement fund.
Okay, but you can't pay your bills with your home.
You can pay it with
Okay.
money. What are you talking about? Pay your bills with your home.
I'm saying, like, just because that's part of their net worth doesn't mean that's income coming in. We go into the business I'm in, I go into houses all day, every day, where it's a $500,000 home, $600,000 home, and these people can't afford groceries.
Well, that's just because they're idiots.
Thank you. So here's
Being
a
an
plan.
MLM doesn't make you any smarter.
Here's a plan. Let me finish my point, then we can argue it.
Whoa, you're the one that
Let's
ran
go
the
with
rabbit
that.
trail.
No. You are interrupting
Okay,
me.
I'm gonna be
talking
quiet.
about-
Go.
Talking about net worth. You're the one interrupting me talking about
You just
retirement.
downplayed retirement plans, and I had to correct you.
Oh, my word.
All right, go.
My point is, they work till they're 60, 65, most of them 70 anymore. They have their retirement. They try to figure out how to make it last. Hopefully, they're literally hoping they don't die, or hoping they die before they're 80 or 85 because they can't afford to live past that, and then they're gone.
That's bull crap.
Okay. So, my point is that with multi-level marketing, it puts a little bit of control. You can control that. You decide how much you want to work, how much you want to put into it, and you build a team.
Until the company you're representing for goes direct to consumer.
And then you take your team and you go somewhere else.
Until that company goes direct to consumer.
Then you take
and then
your team
eventually
and
you turn around and the 10 years that you spent job hopping for or jumping representation for different MLMs.
What was that word?
Jumping representation.
How many syllables was that?
The time you spent jumping representation for different MLMs, you could have spent somewhere else working your way up.
Okay, but at the end of the day, whether I've represented 20 MLMs or one company, at the end of the day, it's about what's in my bank account.
I thought it was about building a team, because a minute ago it wasn't about the money, it was about building the team.
When did I say it wasn't about the money?
A minute ago when you said it wasn't about the money, it's about building a team.
No, I did not say it wasn't about the money.
Okay.
I said it's not about the products as much as it is building a team. The company that you're working
well, products are where the money comes from.
Right, but if
Unless you're an
making,
MLM. I'm sorry. I suck. I need to stop just cutting you in. Go ahead. I love you.
This is my wife, Mason, who decides to cut me off every 4 words. But here's my last statement.
Okay.
You want to make yours first, or you want me?
No, go ahead.
Okay. My last statement is, I am not arguing against traditional business model. That would be just ultimately stupid. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because that's what built America to where it is today.
Right.
But to discredit multi-level marketing is a huge, huge mistake.
Is that a threat?
Because another interruption. And my point is that no matter what happens with the company you're representing, it's not smart to put all in with that. Here's the thing. Every successful person, I think we could say this, that every truly successful person has multiple streams of income.
Agreed, 100%.
Right. We're on total agreement. We're in total agreement on that. So to discredit multi-level marketing as being one of those, you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket. But to completely discredit this business model and the strength of building a team and investing in people, it's huge. This has changed people's lives, not just on a financial level, but on many other levels because of the investment into people. And to discredit that business model, in my belief, is absolutely unfair and ridiculous. Does it have its flaws? Absolutely. As does everything. But to discredit it as a legitimate business model where people who are willing to work, put in the time and the effort, can make a fantastic living or side money, to discredit that is a huge mistake. And in 5 years, we're going to talk about AdvoCare.
Oh, wow. That was really emotional. If only it was true.
I cried.
All right, so I'll just give my closing statements because I'm already the villain of this podcast.
Absolutely.
Like, we both know the majority of the listeners are in favor of the MLM. That's fine. So, again.
And they'll all message you later to invite you.
Like, they're probably going to show up and lynch me in my yard.
Only after getting your banking info.
Again, I'm not right. I'm not discrediting the potential for success at MLM. I'm not saying it's a scam.
Sounded like you were.
No, I'm not. Obviously, the potential for success is there. I know people that are wildly successful doing it. Mm-hmm. I think that it's not all of them. I think most of them are deceptive on the startup. And I think for the average person, I think the time that must be invested to be successful, the average person will not put that into it and will waste their time trying to do it.
Am I allowed to argue the...
And I also think that it's an unsustainable business model, right, as I've demonstrated already.
All right. And there you go.
And
have the last word.
And so with that, Matt, we will have to We'll have to agree to disagree.
Yep, that's where we're at. So let us know what y'all think.
We really want to hear from you guys.
We want to hear y'all. And we're going to be, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Now that we're kind of settled in, we're getting back in the groove of things, then we're going to start putting more content out. Everything's just kind of been put on a hold because of
the move, the
baby, everything going on. We're getting settled back in. So Crush It didn't go anywhere. We're still here. Going to be bringing.
We've been out there crushing.
We've been out there crushing it. We didn't have time to do anything with y'all. So we're going to get some content out there, but we're going to actually put a post out about this. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, we're probably going to put audio. I'm probably going to put audio in a video format and actually post this on Facebook.
Beautiful. Yeah, He's our tech guy, so he can handle all that. Give them those. How can they find us on Facebook and Instagram?
Do the doubt. @Do the doubt is our handle, and if you want to search the podcast, Apple Podcasts for the Crush It podcast, we will show up.
Put the in there because we had a problem with that. There's so many.
We're not famous enough to show up at the top.
Right, we're not at the top of the list. So you got to put in the Crush It podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I know this has been a long one, but kind of hard to cut out in the middle of a debate like that. And it will not be as long next time. We're going to try to start putting out these podcasts much sooner. So don't forget, whatever you're doing, whether it's traditional business model, multi-level marketing, whatever you're doing, give it everything you got and crush it.